enough for the montage. Let's cut to the chase. Towards the end of last semester, we were talking about whether zoos were ethical or not, and also about animal testing. So we had the chance to visit Taipei Zoo to see the animals up close and also to hear what they have to say. Okay, back to the vlog.
然后听本日本 rap，
我也很想听。
我爱拍小学生的。
It was a sunny Tuesday afternoon, and the zoo was filled with kids. And let's just say some of us blended in.
哎，你去跟他们在一起。
Before we started exploring the zoo, Chris and I got some popsicles.
什么口味？
橘子。
太好笑吧！
我已经吃完，才刚吃。
First, we went to the panda exhibit to see Tuan Tuan and Yuan Yuan. Usually, the stars of the show would be sleeping or eating, but this time I saw them walking around exercising. The pandas have been in Taiwan for almost 10 years, but there were still a lot of people visiting them, mostly because of the newborn baby in the exhibit. But we didn't get to see her though. Then, we visited the souvenir shop. See, zoos sell souvenirs for profit, but this profit is at the expense of caging the animals and taking away their personal freedom. Jason did look good in that panda hat though. Then, the tour guide joined us to visit the Formosan animal area.
那为什么我们要到动物园看动物呢？为什么不到野外去看动物？像我们待会看到的台湾动物，你们都会觉得很好奇。但像还有什么？梅花鹿还有，忘了，还有水鹿哈，哎，他们的人形立本不见了。哦，水鹿是体型最大，山羌是最小的。那这陆科动物都是只有公的头上长角，像这个。 如果远远的看不清它头上有没有角，因为山羌的头上的角非常小。看到它的斑纹，头上斑纹V 字形的，这是公的。
She told us about the 3 kinds of deer you can see in the Taiwanese forest, and we also got to see the zookeepers feeding the deers with carrots and potatoes live, which is super cute.
那因为国外很多花鹿，那在国外来讲，它在冬天的时候，国外很冷，会下雪，它长得嘛特别长。 这个斑点就不容易看到。那我们台湾呢，因为没有那么冷没有那么冷的话，那像冬天的时候，斑点还是看得到，所以我们也称它做梅花鹿，因为就像我们的国花一样，越冷越开花，所以称它梅花鹿。那国外是叫花鹿。
And we passed by the boars, which were licking the ground for no apparent reason.
母的它这个是公的，都很漂亮。那母的都觉得它不漂亮，可是，在公的眼里，母的是很漂亮的。那其实呢？ 那目前公的它长得那么漂亮，它是为了保护母的，母的长得不怎么好看，也是为了保护什么？保护小孩。啊，萨芬呀，意思啊。Then we visited the Formosan black bear, which was unfortunately sleeping. So the tour guides told us all about its hunting habits. And then we saw the monkeys with the huge red butts. And armadillos were crawling into its habitat. Then Josephine did a cartwheel, and Sean tried to imitate her. Next, we visited the Asian tropical rainforest area. Here, the animals looked like they were more stressed and depressed. The hippos were screaming, and the hedgehogs were scurrying around. So it was the perfect chance for us to lay a beat for Mr. Van Luven to rap.
Pretty good feedback.
And we failed. Then we saw the Malayan tapir, which was rubbing its private parts onto a rock.
等等，我要跟他沟通，借我一根柱子好不好？借我一根柱子，我要跟他沟通。他看起来很需要用柱子抓痒。
好恶心。
It was especially sad to see the elephants, stripped of their wild savanna, of their majesty in the Asian rainforest, and instead have to reside on concrete. And the elephants are not walking around much, and instead swinging around their trunks. And symptoms of walking around and doing nothing, as described by Mr. Van Luven as a sign of depression, can also be seen in the Bengal tiger, where it was moaning, screaming for help maybe, wanting to return back to the jungle and not inside a cage. And that got me thinking. Zoos confine these animals, deprive them of their natural habitat, and make them survive in a place where there is not as much natural interference and natural selection as the wild. And solitary confinement in humans is considered unethical because it damages one person's social life and also their mental health. Humans are animals too, so why would animals in confinement be considered ethical? Similar things are true according to a BBC article where it states how animals are deprived of their natural social structure and their usual companionship back home, their ecosystem and their habitat, their family, and instead they're living in this cage where they have to deal with human beings as visitors, looking at them and also the zookeepers, and imprinting them with unnatural relationships between animals and humans, living in life that is so unnatural that when they are released back to the wild, they will not be able to survive because they do not have the necessary skills to do so. The affirmative side of the debate would say that zoos are there for conservation, for education, but a lot of animals in zoos are not endangered species, so this protection is not as necessary as those of the endangered species. And even if conservation for the endangered species, these endangered species are already limited in number, yet we are treating them in unnatural ways that would cause that when they rehabilitate and are released into the wild, they will not be able to survive because they don't have the skills, as I said. And in terms of education, I personally think I've been to the San Diego Wild Animal Park, and I think how letting animals thrive in the wild and instead let humans be the ones caged in a caravan and visiting them as a result retains the value of education, yet removes the need to confine animals in captivity. Sure, it's still a limited space, but a lot better than that of a zoo. I personally believe that zoos are unethical. After this trip, I may not want to go to the zoo as much again because of how sad they seem, but it's still nice to visit the zoo and see both sides of the debate.
And if you keep on searching for another